Today I'm going to show you how to connect your guitar to a computer using some really beginner-friendly and affordable gear that I've linked to in the description below. So first things first, I'm going to assume that you've got a guitar, a computer, and a guitar cable. So the first thing that you're going to need is an audio interface like this, which basically just lets your guitar talk to your computer. There's a lot of different options out there. Personally, I'd recommend looking at the Focusrite Scarlett series, as that's the one that I use and a lot of other people use as well, and I found it to be really reliable over the years. I use the 4i4 model because it gives me a lot more connectivity options, but something like the 2i2 or even the Solo with its single input is enough to get started with. I'd also recommend staying away from any direct USB to guitar cables, as they tend to not be that good. You'll also need a set of headphones or speakers. Personally, I just use headphones. Any wired over-the-ear headphones will do. You can try using wireless headphones, but they're usually more difficult to set up and they'll increase the amount of latency, which is the difference between playing your guitar and hearing it through your computer, which you don't want. Now, start by connecting your audio interface to your PC and following all the setup instructions. Then take your guitar and plug it into the audio interface's input and set the gain to around 12 o'clock, just so we can hear it. We'll set the proper gain level in a minute. Most interfaces will also let you change the signal input type. If yours does, make sure to choose an instrument level signal because that's what your guitar will output, and it will just help preserve the full range of tone and volume from your guitar signal. So your guitar is now connected to your PC, and now you just need to hear and capture the sound. So you need what's called a digital audio workstation, or DAW. And this is basically just the software that we use to record and edit audio. Again, there's a lot of different options available. Personally, I use Ableton Live, but there's also FL Studio, Logic, Pro Tools, Reaper, and more simple things like GarageBand. GarageBand aside, they basically all do the same thing. They just have slightly different layouts and workflows. Absolutely any single one is viable. Just pick one that you like the look of. Reaper is quite a common one for people to start with because it offers a 60-day free trial and then it's quite affordable to upgrade after that. But I would also say when you're buying an audio interface, double check to see if it comes packaged with any software, because that can be a good option as well. Once you've installed your DAW, you'll want to make sure that your audio interface is set up properly. So head to the settings and double check that the driver type that you're using is ASIO and that the device you're using is your audio interface. So sound's going to come and go through there. It's really important that you're using the ASIO driver as opposed to the other ones, because ASIO is really good at processing audio efficiently, so you won't get a lot of that latency. Speaking of latency, you're going to want to keep it to under 50 milliseconds, as that's when the gap between playing and hearing it starts to become noticeable. If you do have a lot of latency, you can reduce what's called the sample buffer size, and reducing that basically reduces the audio quality, so your computer doesn't have to do as much work, so it can process the signal more efficiently, so you get less of that latency. But here's all the settings that I use, and I'm happy with the quality and don't notice any latency. Now, in your DAW, create an audio track, because we're recording audio, and set the input to whatever your guitar is plugged into. So mine's plugged into channel 2, so I'll set the input to channel 2. Make sure that you use the mono input instead of the stereo where it has both numbers, because otherwise you're just going to hear your guitar in one ear. All you need to do now is arm your track and you're ready to play. I would also recommend putting on the monitor so that you can hear your guitar while you're playing it. You'll also want to adjust the gain on your audio interface as well to keep the meters in your DAW in the green, because if you notice, if you turn it up, they'll go red and it will sound blown out and distorted and not in the good way. Now, you've probably noticed that your guitar doesn't sound that good because that's the raw audio signal from your guitar. It's not being processed in any way. So now you've got a couple of different options. You could buy a microphone and record your amp that way. So plug the microphone into your audio interface and then put that next to your amp. Personally, I don't recommend doing that. It's more gear and it probably won't sound as good as you want it to. The second option is you could plug your amp directly into your audio interface. So if you've got a line out or a headphone jack on your amp, you can connect it that way. But again, the speaker is part of the amp's sound, so you're probably going to find it a little bit lacking. The third option, which is what I do, is to use an amp simulator, which is just software that you use in your DAW that processes your guitar signal like it's being recorded through an amp. I prefer using an amp simulator over the other options because I find that it sounds better. I actually get a wider range of sounds from an amp sim as well, and everything's just in one place. It's in the computer. There's plenty of free amp sims out there that you can check out as well. In fact, your DAW might come with a few, but the ones that I use are Amplitube and Tonex, and they both have fully functional free versions that have some really good basic sounds to get started with. Most amp sims can do some more advanced things as well, like moving the virtual mic placement, changing the amp and cab configurations, and even changing the room that your amp's in. So you get a wide variety of sounds from them. So install your amp sim plugin and add it to your audio track. And now your guitar is going to sound much better, like it's actually going through an amplifier. You can also adjust your audio interface's gain again as well, and that will change how the virtual amp reacts. Just remember to make sure to keep all the meters in the green. Also, if you want to use an effects pedal, you can set it up exactly like you would with an amp. So your guitar into the effect, and then the effect into the audio interface. Or you can experiment with software-based effects. Just be aware that some effects, especially reverb, can be quite resource intensive on your PC, so an older PC might struggle processing it. But that's the basic setup. Now your guitar is connected to your computer. If you've got any questions, do let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I really hope this helped. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.